Oh my goodness. Okay, so let me just do this. And I'm just getting myself set up here. So, yeah, so let me see if I can make sure. How does that work? Is that good? Okay, that looks all right. So hey, good morning, and pretty unexpected for me to be showing up at this hour because, yeah, I goofed and I thought I had a haircut appointment at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, and I just walked in and I saw my guy Phil cutting somebody else's hair. And then I snuck in and I was like, I think I have it wrong. So I was supposed to be doing a TikTok live from 11 a.m. Eastern to 12 p.m. Eastern, right? Yeah, that's not happening because can you tell I so need a hair? Well, maybe you can't tell I so need a haircut, but I so need a haircut. And it's been weeks, and I'm just feeling like some 70s mom, with, smoking a cigarette at the that kitchen table with this haircut. So here I am, unexpectedly, seriously. And I feel bad for the people that are going to show up at 11 thinking where I am, but hopefully they will see it. So Oceanana, Laura Gibbon Vo, Faith, 8-9 Designs, love it. Thank you for showing up. Totally unexpected, but you know what? This is what we do. We have some structure in our lives and things happen. We think we're doing something and then what do you call it? An accident? Like just a mix-up happens. There we go. So Laura says, I'm glad I got the notice that you are here now. Yes. I don't know. Spread the word to other people. Yeah, and I love it, Sue. Good for you. Better a hair appointment than a smoking like a 70s mom. Totally. But I was thinking about it. Usually I try to kind of punk rock my hair up. And even now it's like, yeah, no. Yeah, because I had to reschedule. Not that we're going to talk about my hair appointment for the whole entire hour that I will be doing this. But I had to reschedule this appointment because of my wonderful opportunity to be able to stay in Palm Springs, California for almost 2 weeks. So therefore, I am well overdue for a haircut. So there you go. So anyhow, yes, I'm here in my car, which is a wonderful metaphor. I don't even have to pretend like I'm on a steering wheel. I'm at a steering wheel. User 8274, good, nice to see you too. And yeah. Oh, thank you. I know you aren't comfy with your hair, but I think you still look nice. Thank you very much. Yeah. And you know what? That's actually a really good point. Is from the outside, you may look fine to other people, but unless you feel good about yourself, it's a whole different ball game from the skin within, you know? And what can I say? I just feel better when my hair is a lot shorter. Frankly, it just takes longer than I would like to blow dry it, especially too. Blonde Cheryl, nice to see you. So yeah, you can look fine from the outside to people. Your house could look fine, and this is why Beth, Destination Decluttering Life Coach. You know what? I'm going to take my jacket off because I'm going to be sitting here for an hour and I'm going to get all sweaty. Your house may look fine on the surface, but it's what's underneath that also counts. I don't want to say that instead counts because I like the both, when it looks good and when it feels good. Now, I like it when my hair looks good to me and I feel good about it. So good morning. So just remind yourself that it's good. It's a good start to have it looking good to other people, but what really matters is how you feel. How you feel in your house. Now, this is when I like to remind all of us kind of some of the basics. So first of all, noticing how you feel. Noticing how you feel physically. Kind of doing the top to bottom, like the body scan, like I'm feeling okay. I woke up with a headache today, so I took a headache pill, and it happens. Gina, hello, nice to see you. 33 Cupcakes, Elway, Cheryl. And so I took a thing for my, a pill for my physicality. I also drank some water and took a walk. So there's that. Mentally, I know I'm going to feel better with a haircut. So, the surface can look fine to other people, but it really helps when you think the surface looks good. And you think the surface looks good because when you look at the surface, you feel good. See what I'm saying? Now, this is why I call myself, frankly, a decluttering life coach, because it's not just about keeping the surface looking clean and then it's like a hot mess underneath. It's all about yes, the surface looks good, functions well. And when the surface looks good and functions well, below the surface, hopefully you feel good. Instead of being, you know how they say like there's a duck and it looks like it's going smoothly, but it's really paddling underneath. Making sure that it feels good underneath when you are in your home and dealing with your clutter. So, for those of you who have not met me before, hey, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach. Judy Dukes, thank you for sending that email about the link for the declutter party. I will take a look at that, and it looked totally different than what I thought I sent out, so I love that I'm going to be able to work on that. But yeah, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach. I goofed up this morning because as I said, I literally walked into my hair place and I was like, he's usually waiting for me, and I saw him snipping. So I am an hour earlier than I posted for the people who know where to look to post. So here's the good thing I will offer to you guys is many of you know many of the other people on the Destination Decluttered mailing list. If you happen to see them around, you might want to be like, hey, just so you know, Beth will not be here from 11 to 12, but she will be there from 12. Is it 12 to 1? Yeah. I will be doing a YouTube live from 12 to 1. I can do that today. But in the meantime, here I am in a parking lot in my car. Wonderful metaphor. But I'm here for you for the next 50 plus minutes. I show up for you. I show up for you to help you with your clutter. I show up for you to remind you to show up for you. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you show up for you when I am on here because you notice how good it can feel to hear somebody talking in a helpful tone, to quiet down your backseat drivers. Pardon me, there's a bug in my thing. And there we go. And learning how to make a plan but be flexible. Being flexible, I am telling you, it's not just about yoga. It's about not being totally like sprawled out all over the place. I like a balance. I like a variety. I like to have some structure and to allow time and space for unexpected delights, as I like to call them. I'm all about delights, and planned delights are good. Unexpected delights are cool too. And I love this. So Laura Gibbon Voorhees is saying, I'm going to be flexy too. I planned a short nap, but instead y'all can join as I organize shoes. Yeah, and I was a middle school teacher and flexy was a requirement. Yeah, think about if you do not practice being flexible, you're going to get, what is that one? I think my sister saw it on the marquee of like a yoga studio or someplace. And it said, flexible people rarely get bent out of joint. You know? Now, Jessie, let me help you with this, okay? So Jessie used the O word, overwhelm. We all know what it feels like. We all know what it feels like to be overwhelmed. I'm going to help you with that. The first thing, before you even think of the rest of the stuff, I'm overwhelmed, she says, and this is for the people who are not watching the comments like I do, and especially also when this is recorded, and uploaded to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. The comments do not carry over. So Jessie is saying, I'm so overwhelmed with my house. I have chronic pain and I never feel well enough to clean. Okay, so I just want to offer to you, let me give you some tools to help with the overwhelm first. Because when you don't feel as overwhelmed, that means you're more receptive to ideas that can help you even if you have chronic pain and you don't feel good, okay? So kind of the catch-all phrase that I like to use for helping you and all of us, myself included, with overwhelm is what I have started to call for a while now, what I call all the downs, okay? Because I want you to think of even just that one word, down, and how many ways you could use that to help you feel better if you're feeling overwhelmed. Right? I'm in over my head. I'm drowning in stuff. I feel suffocated. I look all around and there's just too much, right? That feeling, I like to work in the language of opposites too, okay? So Jesse and everybody, it's, even if you've heard me say this before, repetition, much like me being a flight attendant. I always want to say stewardess. Flight attendant, repeating the basic tenets of this type of stuff. So what I want you to think of, instead of feeling overwhelmed and notice my hands are kind of over my head and you're kind of pushing it back like no, overwhelm, I want you to think of the word down. And notice when I move my hands down and I do it, and I slow down as I do it. I have my hands in the air, shaking them around like I just don't care, but then I'm going to go down and it's going to be slow. Something kind of crazy happens when you move your hands from above until below this kind of wonderful set point, at least in my body. So try this. Maybe you feel it too. If you feel overwhelmed, push it away, say stop, and then say, I'm going to move it down. I'm going to calm down. And when your hands go below your heart, below what I call my energy, like this is where I feel a lot of stuff right here. I'll be honest with you. And down there too, but we're not going to go there. Calming down, slowing down. You can do this by sitting down. You can do this by putting your feet down on the ground and sitting down and slowing down and breathing down and slowing down your breathing. You can breathe down to the bottom of your lungs. You can slow down the speed in which you exhale. You can repeat these. What other downs? Oh, my shoulders. You should see my wedding pictures. I wish somebody had told me to just put my shoulders down. They didn't, and I looked like this because it was freezing out. Shoulders down. How about muscles? Just kind of down, relaxing down all your muscles and slowing down your breathing. Maybe you use your other senses. What other senses? How about this? Maybe you, instead of looking at it all up here, you soften your gaze and you just look down at one point. And maybe you also quiet down. We were talking about the eyes. How about the ears? You quiet down your environment. Now, here's a great thing, you guys, and I love that I'm actually doing this impromptu TikTok live from my car. And because your car is a wonderful place to calm down and quiet down. You can drive somewhere that nobody knows you, sit in a random parking lot, put up the windows, quiet down your environment, lock the door. Quieting down your environment, both externally and internally. Okay? So what I want to offer to you and to everybody is, if you're feeling overwhelmed, stop right there and work on the overwhelm. Calming down, slowing down, settling down. Now, I love this. Gina says, what helps me is a hot, warm shower. Gets me relaxed and motivated to start cleaning and organizing. Yeah, the water coming down on your body. Did you hear that? I could even just imagine that, the nice warm water hitting you, and all of a sudden my body, I'm not even in the shower, and it went, like, doesn't that feel nice? Yeah, and I've done with the car. Yeah. So notice, many of us live here in the United States, and many of us have access to a vehicle. Use that as a metaphor, but use it as an escape. And sometimes you can just go out into the driveway. Or if you don't have a driveway, go park your car somewhere where you can calm down and quiet down and feel better. When you do this, when you repeat all of these downs, drink down some water. I wish I had some water with me now so I could remind you of that. All of these things will allow your body and your nervous system to remember that this is not a crisis situation that requires a 911 call, okay? This is just your body feeling overwhelmed, but there's really nothing that is truly on fire, okay? So when you calm down and you basically remind your internal self, your nervous system, that you're safe and everything is okay, then it's not a 911 call. It's okay, let's see what we can do to figure this out. Now, there is a chemical, scientific, neurological thing that happens where basically when you do this, you are reminding your body and your brain to switch from kind of crisis, fight or flight mode, or fight, flight, fawn, or freeze, all the F's, and shift gears. Shift gears. I got my hand on the gear shift. shift gears into something that is going to allow yourself to open up and listen to the answers. Okay? So when you are in crisis mode, you're not hearing anybody, including yourself. So I say start with the overwhelm, all the downs. Feel better, calm down, and when you feel better, you're going to do better. Okay? So, where was it? So this is something I also want to offer to you, Jesse, when we talked about kind of calming down your nervous system, but starting with your body. If you have chronic pain, are you doing the things that you've been taught to do to lessen your chronic pain? Now, I know it sucks. Do not get me wrong. But are there things you could do to lessen your chronic pain, again, to feel better and do better? Now, the other thing I want to offer you too is, and this is for everybody, decluttering does not start with your hands when you're up and about and you're moving. That's an after. That's the byproduct of decluttering. So if you never feel well enough to clean, what I want to offer to you is feel better physically, feel better mentally, and seriously, you guys, you can declutter from the comfort of your own bed. Because decluttering doesn't happen at the end of your hands. Back it up, and really what happens is it goes down from a thought in your head to a feeling in your heart, to then you take an action with your hands. The action is pretty much the last part of the decluttering. But it's deciding. It's noticing what there is a thought in your head, words in your head, just words. Think of the words in your head. When you look at your clutter, it triggers a sentence in your head, right? And that sentence in your head makes you feel a feeling. So notice the correlation. Notice the connection between your heart and your hands. I always feel like I want to do like rub your tummy, pat your head. Do you remember that one? Your head and your heart are connected. Your head and your heart decide what your hands do. Head, heart, hands, it all begins with H's. Okay? So just notice that. And I like to keep things simple. I could talk about neurological and regulating the nervous system. I get bored with fancy words. Why use a 20-cent word when a 5-cent word will do? Okay? So think about starting up here and working your way down. So stopping and noticing what your brain is telling you, what part of your brain. Let me rephrase this. Part of your brain. Part of your brain is saying, oh my God, maybe like Oceanana. Okay? But notice, I will say, that even Ocean Nana, pardon me, there's two N's there, because I know she's a Nana and she likes the ocean, that you can choose to notice and you should be noticing, please, start to notice the thoughts that go on in your head. And decide if they're the ones you want to keep there or you want to declutter them and replace them with something else. And so if you are not used to this kind of approach to anything, this may be all new to you. The great thing is, I will share with you, so I do one-on-one coaching with people, and this is one of the skills I teach, because it's something I learned myself. And seriously, you guys, I didn't learn this until I was well into my 50s. I'm just saying. So if you think, oh, I've never heard of this before, and this is weird, and this is different, I get it. This was me. So notice that you have a sentence in your head, words, just words in your head that are triggered by something you're looking at. And then those words in your head trigger a feeling in you. And you can stop and decide before you this is the difference between reacting and responding. You can say to yourself, wait a minute, I have a choice here. I can choose to believe those words in my head and they make me feel like this way. Or if I don't like how they make me feel, I can choose to replace those words, overwrite those words with the opposite. Because if these words make me feel bad, it just stands to reason that the opposite of these words might make me feel better. So let me try that out. Yeah. And so this is the basic premise of so much I have to do, but it is a solid basis that has served me well. So I offer it to you to experiment with it. AC Wild, nice to see you. All right, now 030968 or 036098. I'm a bit dyslexic and ADHD. Sometimes I won't clean myself until I do the house and end up shutting down. All right, well, what I want to offer with love is stop that. little traffic cop hand, stop that and start doing something else. Okay? Maybe start. And I love it. Gina is saying, do the opposite. Do the opposite. It's my favorite dance from the 60s. Remember the opposite? I'm kidding. I'm just making shit up. But the opposite. If what you're doing isn't giving you the result you want, do something else. Yeah, car chat, ID Princess. You know why? Because I'm supposed to be on at 11, but I screwed up. My hair appointment is actually at 11, so I'm in the parking lot of my hair place. But why the hell not? Notice, I goofed up. No big deal. How can I quickly bounce back? Be flexible. Okay? So what if what you're doing isn't giving you the results you want? Do something different. And what I offer is not just different random, but start with the opposite. Okay? I love this. Laura Gibbon Voorhees had a plan. She was gonna take a nap, but then since I showed up, people get to be a bit Pavlovian in the and I think of a pavlova, those delicious desserts. Num num num. Not the dogs. But when I show up, people often will declutter. So Laura is just checking in to say, running shoe gallery organized. And I love seeing the green check boxes. I love that. If you're doing any decluttering now and for the next 40 minutes or so, feel free to state your intention. What do you intend to do? And check off when you've got it done and put it in the comments. We'll cheer you on. Yeah, you can pivot. You can do the pivot. You can do something else. And a pivot usually means to go, like if you ever did line dancing, you're moving to the front and then you pivot to the opposite direction. Okay? So notice that. You can do something different. You can do something different. And as I like to say, if something doesn't work for you, do something different, but try the opposite. Now, Sconson says, I've been asking my son to go through his clothes for weeks. He finally did it after I left him alone. So notice, the opposite worked. Bugging didn't work. So you try not the bugging, and it worked. You gave him some time, and he decided to do it on his own terms. Good morning, Jade from Tampa. Gina says, boys are like that. I have one, and as soon as I stopped telling him, he did it. Girls are like that too, just so you know. You know? Yes. So, notice what you're doing. Just notice. Here's kind of a truth bomb, and I don't like to drop a bomb. You dropped a bomb on me, unless I'm the Gap Band, right? What I want to suggest is this is something that never even occurred to me for years, so I like to share with you all the things I've learned in the hopes that some of these things will be helpful to you as like they were to me, was what you've been doing has given you the results you want. You know? What you have been doing has resulted in where you are. Now me, I'm a human. I goofed up. I thought my hair point was at 10 and not 11. So here I am in a parking lot, right? I love it. Judy is clearing the bathroom counter while I listen to you. I love that because you thought you were going to do it yesterday, but you did something else. You know? Yeah. AC Wild, I love this, says the fact that you are consistently here helps. Notice that. I notice it because I like to be reliable. I make an effort to keep my promises to me and to you. And I promised myself that I would show up at 11 today, but oops, I goofed. I rarely goof. I am usually pretty good at this. But you know what? I learned this. I use this as a teachable moment. You can make a plan and you can screw up. Okay, how quickly can you rebound? How flexible are you? I walk in and I'm like, whoops, okay, my bad. What can I do? Can I drive home? I'm like, you know what? I can do a TikTok live from my car. I am flexible, and then suddenly I'm here helping you guys, and we're going to be here for another 25, 34, 54, 50, 36 minutes, 35-ish, because I got to walk from here and there, all right? But noticing, stopping, and I'm doing this as like a little traffic cop hand, a little stop sign in my hand, a little distance between what's going on and what you want to do about it. When you stop and notice, you then have the opportunity to pick what is that, a fork in the road. I always think of it as a Y in the road because it's really just, it's not like a fork with 3 tines. A fork in the road. You can then choose. You can continue going on the way that you want, or you can veer off from where you are to go somewhere else. When you when you slow down and stop, you will notice that there are forks in the road all over the place. You will notice the forks are all over the place. And knives and spoons too. Okay. Now Lucy is asking, is it possible to have ADHD and OCD? I bet it is, yeah. Yeah. And I love it. Jennifer Wu, you're noticing that there's something that works with your neurodivergent kiddos. It works with many of us too, is a deadline, an external deadline. I just tell them the date I need it by and then leave them. Yeah. So notice what works for them might work for you too. What I call this is kind of your toolkit, your toolbox. What works for me? What makes it easier for me to get stuff done? For me, an external deadline often works. For me, having a schedule, that's just a smaller version of an external deadline. Helps me show up. So ain't nothing wrong with that. Notice what works, do it more. Notice what doesn't work, do it less. Hey, Kara, nice to see you. I just copy and pasted your what do you call it? Your post about Boise, Idaho to an external page because I want to put it on my map. So nice to see you. I love this. Ignis says, I just donated 8 boxes of craft supplies and here comes the good part of decluttering and it feels wonderful. There we go. I love this. Gina is mentioning, and I should probably do this too, but I like to be more in the coaching zone than the marketing zone. But all of my TikTok lives and YouTube lives are recorded and kind of archived, available for you to watch at your convenience on Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Destination Decluttered, Beth Destination Decluttered on YouTube. I do that because I do a lot of traveling. That's why I call it Destination Decluttered. And so I know that there are going to be days in a row where I won't be able to go live with you. But if you want this kind of pick-me-up that oftentimes the lives offer, that there are literally at this point, I feel like over 680 videos, almost 700 videos up there for you to choose from. So you can pop it on, as Gina says. Plus, oops, it just zipped. I was trying to read her thing. Okay. Plus, you can play Beth YouTube videos and start cleaning and decluttering as you listen. I love it. All right. So BJ says, counting on you for some organizing help. I'm 65, full ADHD, so also on the spectrum. Awesome. I love it. AC Wild says it's a hay fork. Okay. Okay, what I want to offer to you is, especially the ADHD people, but anybody here, neurodivergent, neurotypical, all the neuros, all of us, stopping and noticing how you are wired. What works for you? Do more of it. What do you do that helps you get the result you want and feeling good while you're doing it? Not, oh, I wait till everything is done and then I go, crazy cleaning and then I get exhausted. No. Notice what works for you to get you to your destination, like a road trip, but also like a road trip and not like a trucker on trucker speed. A road trip means you've got a destination you're excited to get to, and you want to get there and you want to enjoy the journey. So what do you do already in your life that allows you to enjoy the journey and get to the destination? Now think about enjoying the journey. To me, a lot of that has to do with the pace that I'm working at. It's not all or nothing, or it's nothing or then all. It's not driving for days and then making up for it on the last day and driving 50 miles, 5,000 miles a day. It's a little bit every day. And what I call, as I said earlier, about the calming down, slowing down, quieting down, settling down, sitting down, breathing down, all the downs. 2 more downs to add to your list. Chunking down and writing down. Okay? So BJ, I just want to offer to you, notice what works for you that feels good. Do more of that. Notice what doesn't work for you and we can change that. Okay? Yeah. I love it. Kara says, I've been deep in the garden, but yesterday I decluttered garden stuff and it's gone today. I love it. Joy Ginger says, hi, got my adrenal glands calmed down. Every day I set my intentions and I am getting big things done. Yeah, me too. Ignis is just offering a timer works for me. 25 minutes of decluttering. Ting, ting, ting. Can you tell I'm old school? Because I tend to, my body language is back in the day of when you had like a knob to turn versus just hitting a button on like your phone. Actually, I'm here in the car and we've got a low budget kind of car, so it has things. So setting like a kitchen timer, tick, 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 tick. Yay. I love it. Now, Hopeful says, I just filled a big tub of art and toys and stuff for Goodwill. It was hard. Okay, so Hopeful. What I think would be really interesting for you to notice is notice the thoughts in your head. What are the sentences that go through your head when it starts to feel hard? And I would just be like, whoa, this is really interesting. Notice that and then write them down. Write down those words that go through your head when it starts to feel hard. And then flip those words on their backs and the opposite. What could the opposite of those words make you feel? Experiment, play. Okay? So notice that. Now, Ignis is saying, I hate going to Goodwill and Savers and donations places because come home with more. Sent someone else. So notice what you did. I used to do that for years. I used to call it an offering to the thrift gods. I would go in the back and I would make my donation, and then I would drive around the front and pretty much fill up my car again. But I enjoyed it. I truly enjoyed thrifting. It really brought me joy. It was a thing I did for decades. Okay? So, but then it started to fill up my house and I was filled up and I didn't enjoy the result of it. Now I barely do it anymore and I frankly do not enjoy it. I do not enjoy it. I never thought I'd get to this point in my life. It was nothing I was planning on doing, but I have shifted and I do not really enjoy digging through other people's stuff unless it's curated, frankly. Okay? But notice what Ignis is. I hate going there because I come home with more, so instead I sent somebody else to do it. You know? Now Hopeful says I take it slow because I have back pain. In the past, I could really clean quickly. Yeah. Many of us are at an age where we used to be able to do things differently with our younger bodies and the stamina and the energy that comes from that. Nowadays, not so much. Okay? Now, regret. Notice that regret is one word. Expand the regret into a sentence. When I look at those things that I donate, I regret ... and then fill in the blank, kind of like a Mad Libs. See what that is. You know? Hey, good morning, LA. I'm in the car too. Yeah. Two Chicks Mom says, how do I keep my kiddos not want to keep the clutter? I would say this, honestly, by leading by example. Lead by example. Training yourself, teaching yourself the skills of decluttering, and then showing up in a way that just makes it okay for them to realize it is safe and okay to let go of what you don't want anymore. All right, so notice regret, overwhelm, and guilt from Hopeful. And can you tell I'm just bopping around by these, the comments, the way they come in. Guilt. When I look at this stuff I'm donating, I feel guilty because ... You know? Now this is cool. Joe Lowe's 138 says, I want to be there. Yeah. Now here's the funny thing. I want to be there. Where is your there? I want to go to there. There is your destination. Now, this is a really important part of my coaching, and this has really helped me in coaching and in my own life and in travel, for crying out loud, which is calming down your nervous system, making sure you feel okay, and then ask yourself before you even start driving, where the hell am I going? Where am I? Where is my destination? Where is my destination? If I don't have a destination, I start to create it. So where is your there? What does it look like? How does it function? How do you feel when you're there? How many details can you add to it? Write those things down. Now, my home is upside down, literally. If it is, you might be in Guinness Book of World Records, because literally that would mean that you were like in Dorothy's house from The Wizard of Oz, right? No, it may feel upside down, but that's, you know what? Maybe you want to turn it right side up. What's the opposite? And the opposite, that's another thing too. When you are defining your destination, you may be verbose. You may be so eloquent on how awful things are because we are trained to accentuate the negative. Good. Write all that stuff down and then write it all in the opposite. If you don't like it how it's this way, you may like it when it's the opposite, right? So, hey, Sue is going through clothes for the next 25 minutes. She has got her destination. Destination 10:35, 45, 55. Okay, until like 11, and I got to keep an eye on the time or else I'll be late for my hair appointment. What do I want to say? She has declared her destination, that she wants to have fewer clothes. I'm assuming, I'm kind of ad-libbing here. At the end of 25 minutes, she will have gone through some of her clothes and made decisions. That's the other thing. Deciding is decluttering. That's why you can do it from your bed. You do not need to be moving those things, okay? Now, Two Chicks Mom is moving. I'm done with clutter. Dumpster trailer dropped off this AM. Rock on with your bad self. What I want to offer you, though, too, is I do not declutter shame. If getting a dumpster is the way that you can declutter, go for it. But what I will just offer to you is, if you're moving and you do the dumpster method, you might not have changed how you think and feel and act around stuff in your home. So do not be surprised when you get to your new house that it may start empty, but it may start filling up because you haven't changed those things. Okay? I just want to set you up for lessen the disappointment if you find that you're cluttering up your place again. Okay? But yay. Okay? Oops, a whole bunch of comments just popped up on me. So, here we go. Yes, and Melly and many people, you guys, it takes me longer to do the things I used to do. Yeah, welcome to getting older. Welcome to moving through life at a different pace than you used to 5, 10, 15, 25 years ago, 30 years ago, whoever. Yeah, it's a real thing. So feeling okay with the pace that you're moving through life can be a good thing. Yeah. Okay, so hopeful. Notice all these things that come up as you write them down. Whatever comes up, as I like to say, write it down. Notice that these are the thoughts that are making it a struggle to declutter. How could you do something different the next time? Now, I'm going to offer to you that this is the way I show up for things. I don't show up on the side of fear, of judgment, of perfectionism, of hate, of discouragement, of judgment. No, I'm on the opposite. I'm on the other team. Hope, love, problem solving, encouragement, curiosity. What is the better versus perfect, that type of thing. So that's the language that I speak. And I think this is why people enjoy even watching the lives when they're recorded, because how nice does it feel to hang out in that energy of possibility? To me, it feels a hell of a lot better than sitting around with a bunch of sad sacks who are like, wah, wah. Now, there are things to be sad about. There are things to be angry about. Do not get me wrong, but do not wallow in it and blame other people and just not do anything. I am in the side of love and possibility and questioning and then action. Okay? So just notice that. Okay. There we go. So, yeah, hopeful. Notice a lot of stuff that comes up. I feel old, too old to have many items. Many people do. That's why I do what I do for the people I do it with. Because many of us have gotten to the point where we're like, whoa, how did all this stuff get in my house? What I offer you is this easy sentence. You can change that. Yeah. And many of us, and Melly is saying, now I have to declutter my parents' home in addition to mine. Stress feels doubled. Yeah. You know why? Because you don't have a good process. You don't feel like you can do it. You don't have a good system. I am all about systems and processes. Because when you show up to say, oh my God, this is a lot, but then you say, wait a minute, I know how to approach this. And I want to give you, seriously, calming down your nervous system and chunking down the process and writing down what you're going to do. Down, down, down. That is an easy process. Okay? And many of us are decluttering parents' homes. Many of us are dealing with aging parental clutter, our own clutter, and then probably kids in the back. If you've got kids, they may be storing stuff at your house too, or you live with them and their stuff is in your house too. Okay? So, yeah. Now, Tutu GFV says, getting through all the steps, sort to get rid of it. The problem is getting all the way. So notice, you are just stuck. There's a roadblock between you and getting it away. Again, I say show up at that roadblock. Stop and notice when there's a block in the road. When you notice what that is, and honest to God, you guys, the block in your road is usually made up of words. So stop and listen to what the words are that are stopping you. The words that cause you to feel discouraged, that it's not worth trying, that you're stopping. If you don't, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to be getting to that certain point, and you're not going to be going through that crossroads, right? You're going to be, instead of going through and getting to your destination, you're going to take a left or a right, and you're going to pivot in the wrong direction, and you're always going to stop at that point. It's like being at the crossroads. Like, what's his name with the chicken bone? I don't know. Sorry, I'm cracking myself up. Yeah, hopeful. Let me offer this, because you're saying family heritage type stuff, sifting through old papers with the face. Okay? Wicked easy, because I may like to make things wicked easy. Clutter comes in 3 categories. Some of them kind of transmorgify into different, this one or the other. But think about the clutter in your home in 3 categories. Surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter. Yeah, sentimental clutter is the family heritage type stuff, old papers. That is the most difficult layer to deal with. It's like the last 5 or 10 pounds you want to lose when you're losing weight. So you don't start there. Back yourself up to the surface clutter. Because when you learn the concept of decluttering on the surface, that same concept applies to stored clutter. The same concept and process applies to sentimental clutter. But you know that you can deal with it a lot better when you've practiced it on the surface. Now, what is surface clutter? It's like the clutter of everyday living. It's the stuff that's on the surfaces in your kitchen, in the surfaces of your bathroom, says Judy Dukes. Any kind of horizontal surface. So start to practice the life of decluttering by doing it on the surface. As you get better at that, you will be more easily able to deal with the layers. But don't start with the heavy stuff. Okay? Now, yeah. And yeah, so notice, deciding. It's hard to decide what to keep and what to throw away. Deciding can be as simple as and as difficult as saying, what do I want? I use this phrase all the time. And I'm not greedy. I'm a little bit greedy for myself. What do I want? But then I listen. And at least that's a starting point. Here's what I want to happen. Throw it out there. The more you get in tune with that and you offer it up to the world, you increase the likelihood that it's going to happen. Okay? Judy, I love the fact that chunking down has helped you a lot. I love that, because you and I have been working together on the decluttering parties, and notice you are making a difference and you're using the same process all the time. It's like one of those things that's not like a bespoke tool in your kitchen. It's like something that you can use all over the place. Okay? Now, let me do this. Yeah, Jennifer Wu, we're like the Oreo cookie sandwich. I am sandwiched between my husband's, his parents, and our kids with their stuff. So start with your stuff. You know? Hopeful. I found the bill for my birth. Keep or throw. You decide. What do you want to do with it? Just because, and here's something that's really cool. I found those things too. Just because somebody else decided to keep it or decided they didn't know what to do with it, so they just left it somewhere, doesn't mean you have to keep it. Let me repeat that. For those of us who are dealing with other people's clutter in our own lives, just because somebody else kept it doesn't mean you have to. You can look at that and be like, oh, interesting. It was a lot cheaper to have a baby back in the 60s than it is now. Noted. You could share it with your kids. You guys, check it out. Look at how cheap it was when I was born. Okay. You could take a picture of it, and then you can throw it away. Or you could frame it, or you could digitize it, or you could embroider it, or you could decorate a cake with that info on it. You can do whatever you want. But you get to decide, what do I want for this? Many of us have not been told to pay attention. We've actually been told to ignore what we want and pay more attention to what other people want. So I say, practice stopping that with your traffic cop hand. Practice stopping that. And start asking yourself, what do I want? Do I want this bill? No. Okay, if I don't want it, I can throw it away. Okay? All right. Some things are important, feel more important to keep. You know? Medical records for my son's illness that he needs when he gets older. Okay, those sound important to keep. Divorce records. Now, I have those too. But in the 20 plus years, 25 plus years that I've been divorced, I've never had to prove my divorce. But who knows, in these modern times where we're asking for our papers at the borderline, it can't hurt. So save them. It takes up about a millimeter of space in a folder. Don't overthink it. Save some stuff that you think is important. Okay? But it's not going to take over your whole life. But notice, you're going for like the deep cuts here. I say back up and even look at how your kitchen is. Is your kitchen decluttered? Okay, if your kitchen is decluttered, if your bathroom is decluttered, if all your surfaces are decluttered, go to the next layer. Your stored clutter. What's stored clutter? Stored clutter, instead of surface, it goes to stored. Stored, and I think this rhymes, myself anyway, with my Boston accent. Stored is the stuff behind doors and drawers. Stored, doors and drawers. Opening up a cupboard, opening up a closet, opening up an attic, anything that's stored. Is all your stored stuff in good shape? Okay, then get to the sentimental. But do not start with the hardest stuff. It's just going to make you feel frustrated. Start with the easy stuff and learn how to work on that. Okay? Yeah. Okay, and this is great because I've been here for 45 minutes and already we get people tuning in saying the O word, overwhelm. Robin Bird says, I'm so overwhelmed. I have tons of makeup and clothes to organize and will be having spine surgery. Notice the relationship between having too much stuff and the feeling of overwhelm. You know? So, what you do is, first of all, I'm only going to be on here for another 13 minutes or so because then I do go in and get my hair done. And you guys, I will offer, I feel bad for anybody who's going to show up at 11 o'clock to do for the TikTok live, and I'm signing off. So if you see anybody, just let them know, hey, Beth's not showing up. I apologize. I screwed up my schedule. It happens. Okay? Yeah, so just follow me. I'm the best. Sign up for the mailing list. Actually, that's the best thing. I will share with you that I will be doing a YouTube live at noontime today when I get back from my haircut. It'll be funny. Those of you who tune in, you'll totally see a before and after. It'll be wicked funny. And then tomorrow I do a TikTok live and a YouTube live, and then I'm off the digital grid until next week. Okay? So yeah, find ways to follow me. I have started to show up on TikTok more, but the best way to do it is get on my mailing list. Free mailing list. Don't worry, I don't charge you money. DestinationDecluttered.com. Okay? So DestinationDecluttered.com, sign up for the mailing list there. Then you know the schedule. And I'm telling you, 99% of the time, I am good with my schedule. Today is one of those times where I'm proven that I am not AI generated because I showed up the wrong time for them, but then it's your benefit. Okay? But what I want to offer to anybody who's feeling overwhelmed, go back and watch the beginning of this live when it's posted to Destination Decluttered on YouTube, or frankly, we deal with this on every single live. The opposite of overwhelm is the word down. Calming down, slowing down, chunking down, quieting down, breathing down, settling down, gazing down, drinking down water, down with the shoulders, quieting down your nervous system. When you feel less overwhelmed, that's when your, what I like to call your co-pilot brain, will speak up. And notice the correlation, though, between the amount of stuff you have in your house and how you feel. There's a connection there. There's a connection, dear. You know? So I just want to offer to you that just because your mom saved stuff, just because your dad saved stuff, just because it ended up randomly in their attic does not mean you need to keep it. You can choose to keep it if you want to, and you can choose to put it in the recycle bin. You have a choice. You have a choice. Okay? And there's another point too with decluttering, is decluttering does not mean getting rid of everything. Decluttering is the act of deciding what you want to keep and what you don't want to keep, and then acting upon that decision. As the Clash used to say back in my punk rock days, should I stay or should I go? What is this item? Do I want it or not? What do I want? Do I want it or do I not want it? And if I want it, where does it go in my home or life? And if I don't want it, where's the easiest way for me to get it out of my home or life? Okay? Yeah. And what I want to offer is, notice my spine is crying after all night on the floor working on this stuff. Hopeful, you're doing the best you can with the skills you have, but honestly, there's a better way to do it so your spine is not crying. Okay? You will keep on feeling like your spine is crying if you keep on doing it the way you're doing it. Now, I know you're doing it the only way you know how. I am just offering to you that there is an easier, better, more sustainable way to declutter. Now, it will take time. I'm not going to lie. It's just like weight loss, because that's another kind of metaphor to use. Okay? It will take time, but it's going to be more like a road trip than it is being a trucker. That you won't be exhausted and freaked out at the end, that you're going to feel good at the end of each day at the progress you're making. And it might take you slightly longer days-wise, but each day is going to feel better, so you don't mind showing up to declutter again. Now, I love it. Judy, we see the green check marks. I'm a Pavlov's visual dog when I see that. Judy says counter, cleared, and clean. And I love an alliteration too. You know? Yep. So, notice the thoughts you have about your clutter. Notice hopeful. Hopeful is hopeful, or else they wouldn't call their name there. I don't know if you're a woman, but I tend to say she. I can't have osteoarthritis and be getting old and be dealing with this stuff. Yeah. So do something different. Yay, Natalie found her ottoman. Yeah, Robin says, I have to get my home in order before my spine surgery, but it's difficult with the pain I have. Okay, you guys, here's something. Once again, decluttering is deciding. And deciding does not happen with your hands. Deciding what you want and what you don't want happens with the tango, the dance between your head and your heart. The thought you have and how it makes you feel. The thought you have about the item and how it makes you feel. Once you make that decision between your head and your heart, you can outsource the grunt work. Hopeful says, what has happened to our backs? I used to be a work mule in my home. Well, that's a bummer you were a work mule. You know what happens? We are aging. We will die. Our human bodies are aging. Even though our spirit feels the same as it did when we were 19 years old, our body is telling us, nah. Okay? So notice that your body is changing. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? You can try all you can to change your body, but at a certain point, there are certain things you cannot change. So you're going to have to, if you want to feel good, you're going to have to change what you do. Yeah. So notice what you did before is not sustainable because it's not the same. You could do the same thing, but your body is decomposing. Your body is getting weaker. Now you're going to need to do more to just maintain what you were. Yeah. And a lot of us did for many years said, okay, this is the only way I get stuff done. And now your body's like changing the game, which I think is great because what you were doing before was not sustainable. Okay, Jenny B, I would happily repeat myself. And then I do need to keep an eye on winding it down. Decluttering. Here's some good kind of things that you could embroider on a pillow. Decluttering is decision making. And decision making is deciding, what do I want? Do I want this item or do I not want this item? And that deciding happens up here between your head and your heart. The sentences, the words in your head, and how they make you feel. Your thinking brain and your nervous system brain. Equally as important. Okay? Deciding is decision making. And once you decide if you want it or not, the next steps are, if I decide to keep it, where is a place that makes sense to me for that to live in my home? If I decide I don't want it, what's the easiest way to get it out of my home? Easy. I'm all about easy. And what I say is head, hand, heart is kind of like the top to bottom thing, like surface stored sentimental. And after you have made the decision, you can sit here in your car and make a decision about something that's back in your house. I don't want that pair of shoes anymore. And you can outsource, you can offshore, you can pay somebody else, you can tell somebody else to move the stuff you don't want with their hands. And asking for help is a big deal. That is asking for somebody else to, and this is where I'll be very mindful of my words, to participate in the decluttering process. Now, if you live alone and it's your clutter, it will be help. They are coming in to help you. But if you live with other people in a home, sounds like an old person. If you live with somebody else and their clutter is in the home that you live in, they need to get this skill too. Okay? Now, notice, with the bigger items, my son said we can sell them, and you're saying we don't have the time. So get your son involved. Get him to sell it. But notice, you have a thought in your head, and this is a big one with a lot of people, is I don't have the time. We are busy. I don't know if you're busy or not, so I'm not going to say no, you're not, but I will say get curious about that. Where are you spending your time? And is that getting you the result you want? And where are you not spending your time? Yeah, he doesn't have the time, and it's just all sitting in the garage for months saying he'll do it. Okay, have a conversation with him. Have a deadline. Discuss whether it's really worth it or not. Yeah. So, notice, Robin is asking, and I'm going to do a couple of questions, and I'm going to wind it down because I do want to walk in and get my hair cut. And it's also getting kind of stuffy in here. Oh, actually, I can open the windows. Duh. Yeah. Notice, if you're in denial, you're denying what? What are you believing then? We are busy. The stuff needs to go, even if it's worth the money. Hopeful. I just offer to you. Notice all the stuff you're writing down to us in the comments. Write this down to yourself. This is insight like nobody's business. Scroll through, and before I sign off in like a minute, screenshot all this stuff. This is insight. Put this stuff to good use. Okay? Put this stuff to good use. Okay? Yeah. Denying we're busy and we need to be able to walk through our garage. Yeah, could be. What I want to offer to everybody as I wrap up is this. Notice, there's a lot of thoughts in your head. The thoughts in your head are causing what you do in your life. Which of these objects has a brim? Notice, there's a lot of thoughts in your head. The thoughts in your head are causing what you do in your life. Which of these objects has a brim? Oh, I can't even. Okay. So TikTok, I don't know if you guys can hear me. TikTok is giving me one of those puzzles I'm supposed to solve. I can't see it because it's glary here in my car. I'm going to sign off now, but just remember, I will be doing a YouTube live at Destination Decluttered on YouTube at noontime in about an hour. So I'll see you then, and we can continue having this conversation. If you like what I'm doing, sign up for my mailing list at destinationdecluttered.com, and you can get the schedule of when I show up live again, okay? I'm going to sign off because I think TikTok's going to shut me off, and I'll see you guys in about an hour, okay? Bye. Okay, I'm going to sign off because I think TikTok's going to shut me off, and I'll see you guys in about an hour, okay?